Welcome! In front of me is a REALME C51, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick look at this phone. So, let's get straight into it. There we go. Dare to leap, cool. Now in here we get a case, nice inclusion, and paperwork, don't care. That's about it. Then the phone. Let's boot it up. Next, below that we get a cable. That's a Type C to Type A, pretty nice, and a charging brick, which is actually a 33 watt brick that comes with a device that is a budget phone for about 150 bucks. Nice. So, for this, we actually get a pretty decent package, I would say, especially with the charger. That is more charging speed than I would have expected from, well, nowadays most manufacturers. But yeah, REALME decided to give you a decent charger for a budget device, so props for that. Now let's put on the case just so we can see how that looks like. There we go. So it'll protect your camera bump a little bit, and obviously the device. Okay, so let's start off with the display, which obviously you can already see that it is a 6.74 inch display. Unfortunately, it's only running at 720p, so 720 by 1600 resolution. It's an LCD IPS that is also running at 90 Hz refresh rate with a peak brightness of 560 nits. It boasts an 85.5% screen to body ratio with 260 pixels per inch. So just to summarize the display right here, it is a very mediocre display. It is a budget device, so that is honestly to be expected, and at a budget device having 90 Hz refresh rate is actually surprising, to be honest. So with that in mind, that it's a budget device, it actually punches a little bit over the expectations of just running at 60, it gives you 90. So that's pretty actually nice for the user. It will give you a better, smoother experience when you're scrolling down through your any kind of content that is being displayed on a screen. Now moving on to the cameras, let's start off with the back ones. We have a what looks like a triple camera setup. It's actually a dual camera. The last one, this thing is just a flash. And the main sensor is a 50 megapixel f1.8 27mm wide lens, PDAF. Then we get a joke of a camera, which is called a depth sensor, and it doesn't even come at 2 megapixels. It might as well not be included in this device because it's just a joke. It's a 0.08 megapixel f3.0 depth sensor. It's absolutely useless. And with the main camera, the 50 megapixel one, you can shoot at 1080p 30 frames. Then at the front, we have a 5 megapixel wide sensor, f2.2, 28mm, and you can shoot with this one at 720p 30 frames, so a little bit lower. Okay, now moving further into the internals, this device is being powered by a Unisoc Tegra T612 processor. It comes with 4 GB of RAM, and at the very base version of it, 64 GB of storage. And the second option that I can get, a little bit of a higher one, is 128 GB of storage. Now, with that being said, I believe we can probably expand the storage on here, so I'm gonna quickly check that out. And yep, so we have a dual SIM support along with a dedicated SD card support. So even if you go with the 64 GB storage, you can still pop in like a 0.5 TB SD card in here and have stupid amounts of storage. So that will be pretty nice for a lot of the people. Now, scrolling down, In terms of the battery, we do have a pretty decent battery size in here at 5000 milliamps, and we also, like I mentioned before, have a really good charger that comes in the box, being 33 watt charger. And what they're advertising is that you will get your device from 0 to 50% in 28 minutes, which is pretty good. So you can top up this device relatively quickly, and charging speed won't be obviously a problem here. And I think that's really all the worth mentioning info. Last thing that I'll add on is that the device is running on Android 13 right now, which is, I believe, also the newest Android you can get. And possibly, if we have Android 14, this device should get an update to that as well. So for about $50, you get a pretty decent package, I would say. The device obviously won't be winning any kind of like speed performances or anything like that, and in terms of cameras it might be lacking a little bit, but again, $150 is a really low entry price for a device, and it already kind of provides you with a relatively decent device, I would argue. So anyway, with that being said, hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.